the week that was. We'll call it the week that was. The week that was pictures. The week that was. So what was this balloon? What does everyone think that this balloon may have been? Because obviously, they tell us, stupid stories. And we all know about satellites and satelloons and all this kind of stuff. And, we've all been observing Earth changes, shall we say. We've all noticed things happening in the sky, the sun, moon, they're all different times, spinning, all these weird things, right? So I was thinking, if the atmosphere, the pressure in the upper atmosphere gets more, if the pressure gets more, what that's going to do is compact the gases, right? So essentially it's going to make any gas that's in a balloon, keeping it aloft, it's going to make it less of that gas, essentially, which would make these balloons sink. Is that what's happening? Is that why? Because these UFOs look suspiciously like balloons as well. And this is the International Space Station. Well, so they say. I mean, it looks a lot like a drawing, doesn't it? Especially this bit. But this is what we see, right? This is what they give us. This is the shape. Basically the two big bits on the end and a bar. That's what they say the International Space Station is. There it is again. Clearly, that's a photo from someone hang gliding on top of it. Hang on, that's the wrong picture. This is the spy balloon. And can you see this bit hanging down here? That looks suspiciously like this. All right. Was that the International Space Station? What do you reckon? Because, I mean, if it's up there, they tell us it's lower Earth atmosphere, don't they? Oh my God, I'm jumping ahead. But look at that, right? So this is the balloon, the Chinese spy balloon, and it looks eerily similar to this. So that's one, is that literally the International Space Station? Or, is there an International Space Station, or is there lots? Is that just like a certain type of satellite? And then they blew this balloon up. Like they sent up, fighter jets, right? And the story that's come out is they used a Sidewinder missile. Now the problem with that is a Sidewinder missile is a heat-sinking missile, and this is a balloon. Sure, it may have had some hot air in it. I doubt it, because hot air doesn't last long. So what was this? How could that have been hit by a heat-seeking missile? And who would send a missile at a balloon anyway? This is a picture that just shows you it may have just been a complete, Photoshop. There may have been nothing up there, and we don't know, right? They just present this stuff, in the broadcasts. They're magic spells. But here we have the balloon again, and you can see here something hanging down below it. So is that a Saturn or maybe the International Space Station? And this is the fighter jet, and they shot it down. Apparently. Took them, how long? 5 days? This is a picture of one of the UFOs. And again, that looks suspiciously like a balloon. I mean, but, they choose their pictures, right? Their photos. That kind of looks metallic because you can see reflection, but it's not really. The whole thing would be reflecting if that was metallic. So that could be a balloon, right? And again, they got warplanes up there, and they're shooting stuff down in other people's airspace over Canada and all these things. So, obviously we've all heard of Project Bluebeam. We've all kind of been expecting it for the last couple of years. So is this what they're going to try and push? Because there's lots of talk of UFOs.
Then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
Military not ruling out shot down UFOs may have come from hostile actions, or this one says, and so they're calling the UFOs, which of course means unidentified flying object, but most people, when they hear that term, they think aliens, right? So this is subtle brainwashing, right? They're putting all these, like, this is spells. They put ideas into your subconscious, and then they start showing you more evidence that that idea is real. It's a spell. They still haven't got the debris, third UFO, shot down. So every one of these stories has got UFOs shot down. So it's building this narrative, isn't it, for alien invasion and an alien war, us having to defend against aliens, which is a stupid thing. If someone, space existed and aliens existed and they actually could get here, we'd have no chance of defending ourselves because their tech would be way too advanced. But this is the thing. So they haven't recovered anything, and it's just UFO. So what are they building here? Do you think they're going to start building Project Bluebeam and coming out with that narrative? That's the question. And then, of course, we have this. In Ohio, train derailment, chemical leak causes chaos. What exactly is going on? Now, they suppressed this story while all the balloon stuff was going on. This is a few days old, and it's only really come out yesterday. And a massive train explosion. Again, the details we don't really know. Some stories say it was a train derailment. Some say that police had to stop the train and was shooting at it or put bombs or explosives or something there. And of course, it happened in a town called Palestine. How long have they been telling us that there's going to be nuclear war in Palestine? Because that's the explosion, right? This thing was massive, and it's bad. It's full of really bad chemicals. So if you're in that area, I'd advise you get out as fast as you can. This is going to have a lot of lasting effects. And of course, is this all part of, Mr. Gates's agenda, right? We know what he wants to do. He told us in a TED talk, right? He told you straight out, he wants to reduce the amount of beings running around in this realm. So we have this. And then, of course, the Turkey earthquake. So this is all in the last week. All this stuff is going on. And with this train now, I couldn't find a picture. I'll have another look, but you can see there was one. Yeah, this, you can kind of, it's a mushroom, it turns into a mushroom cloud, but they've kind of cut this one off, right? So you can't see the mushroom cloud because some stories they want us to know and they push at us, and some they don't want us to know. And this is the thing, they suppress so many pictures. I have seen the picture. This is the first one, but yeah, it explodes. I mean, that one's, you can kind of start to see it starting to form, but it forms into like a full-on, what looks like a nuclear bomb cloud. Oh, isn't that interesting? Look at that explosion. Looks like that tower. Don't know what that means. Explosion, right? Here we go. That's an original mushroom cloud from a nuclear explosion. And, this is what we're seeing out where this train blew up. So crazy times, right? Crazy times. What are they trying to hide, do you think? All right. So what else we had was this. The Grammys. This is Harry's Got No Style, dressed as a woman and promoting it to his teenage audience. Okay, this was him at the Grammys, right? And do notice what's here in the background. Someone's watching you. But yeah, like this is what they're trying to promote as male. Look at this. And, not to say that, rock stars didn't dress like this in the 70s. But, that was the start of this whole demasculation thing, all this. The 70s was rife, the David Bowies and that, and the face painting and the spandex. So they're just trying to bring it back, but it's all, demasculating, right? And all aimed at our children, our young people. It's not aimed at us. Now who's this? Does anyone know who this is? Very handsome lady. Now let's see what picture's next. I'm hoping it's the right one. Oh, it is, yeah. So John Cena. All right. Again, put up as a man, a wrestler. I think is he saying, I think he won 5 titles or something, but, very, very well known. Now he's, an action star, I guess. They're trying to make him in the movies. And this is him last week. Photographed. Even this dude who is a mask wearer, even he's surprised that John Cena is wearing a skirt and stockings. He hasn't got a garter belt on though, because they're like those, garter belts for those stockings, and high heels. All right, John Cena. And makeup, anyone? What's going on here? So this is an agenda, and of course, we know who these people. We all saw this one. All right, we know who these people worship. They show us. Oh my God. That's Mickey Rourke in The Wrestler 2. This is who they worship, right? And they put it in your face, and there's another, agenda behind all that as well. Because anything they want you to believe, you question it. So the person that they worship is a transgender. Just like this. This is that Sam Smith dude, right? This guy, dressing up as this guy who they tell us is a Trans Am, and here he is as a Trans Am. You can see he's got these because he's trying to say, look, I've had my nipples cut off. I mean, and this is what they're trying to promote as cool. And I mean, how unattractive is this dude? Seriously, this is now a pop star. I mean, at least, it was all programming, but at least when we grew up, pop stars were good looking, right? I'm like, what the hell is this? We got this and we got that Lizzo thing. Well, not we, but children, right? And this, of course, was Sam Smith at the Brit Awards last week in an inflatable suit. Inflatable like a balloon, right? Like a balloon. It was the week of balloons. A coincidence? Who knows? There he is again. Everyone's got their nipples cut off and they love it. You can see. This guy loves it so much that he's got little horns on his heart. All right, he's a bit horny. And isn't that an interesting term, right? Horny. Because that's the other thing. We know these guys are a little bit depraved. Or deprived, or both. Probably both. And that's it. All right, so you can avert your eyes. It was pretty horrific, wasn't it? So that's just in the last week. This is what they're doing, this whole trans agenda thing. But like you saw, John Cena, right? This isn't just, these, snowflake little sort of pop stars, the 20 plus. John Cena, 40-year-old action hero, wrestler, muscle dude, man, put him up as an alpha male and then put him in a dress. We've seen this everywhere. They do it to them all the big actors, big singers, they all have to go and wear a dress at some point. It's very interesting. And like I said, it's because who they worship. If you look into, the who that entity is or who he's described as, it's trans or hermaphrodite, right? That whole kind of twisting and melding of the genders, which is what they're trying to do, right? They're gender benders. Gender benders. All right, 229 of you watching. How is everyone? And we got here new Christopher. Hello. Yeah, man. Yeah, it is. That's what I was just saying before. If we've got 17 years to go, how much crazier can it get? Yeah, laugh at them. Exactly. This is the thing where, if you get upset and like start running around going, you can't do that. No. You're actually feeding it energy because you're focusing on it. So the best thing is to just laugh at it. Go, holy crap! Know what's going on. Don't be stupid and sit there and go, well, nothing matters. We still need to know what's going on in the outside world, but we don't have to give it our attention and our energy. We can laugh at it. And this is where I get my news, like literally from, parody channels and meme channels and like Salty Cracker and stuff, because they just laugh at it and point out the stupidity, because as soon as it becomes a problem, we focus on it, then we create it as a problem. Yeah, exactly right. And this is the thing. They're showing us who they are, right? So if you see a dude walking down the street in a dress, you know to cross the road, right? Get away from that person. Oh, yeah, right. Pearl necklace, hey? Hugh Jackman, I'm sure he's done one. There was it Priscilla, Queen of the Desert? They got Guy Pearce and a whole bunch of Aussies to dress up as trans and run around. And yeah, they do it all the time. So these are satelloons, right? These are satellites. This is how a satellite is launched from Antarctica, and they just put them on balloons. Oh, here we go. You can see big balloons, looking suspiciously like the Chinese spy balloons. This is what they want you to believe, how they get them up there. This is how they actually get them up there. Big balloon. Come ride with me in my beautiful balloon. They're not giving us many good ones. They are here though. There goes another one. And it says here, NASA's balloon program, right? Super Tiger, another one getting launched. You can see this looks like it's got the satellite on the back of the truck. Globe-trotting super balloon. So, and I mean, look at this, right? Does this not look like, see on the back of this truck here? Oops, can't zoom in this bit. Does that not look like, what they were showing us under that spy balloon, right? That I was saying could be the International Space Station. So this is what's hanging underneath these. So that's what we were looking at, satelloons. Here's another one. All right, just about to take off. We tie a balloon to it. But they mix it up, right? They want you to believe, it's like, here we go, we'll put this in. And here they write satellite launched, right? They always put satellite and launching in that when it's the rocket ships, right? Satellite. But when it's a balloon, they just put balloon. They don't want you to link the satellite to the balloon. So it's just all, again, so it's all spells, right? Spell casting. So there we go. And this, of course, is what they want us to think. That's a very small picture, sorry. Satellite way, way, way up in space. But that is what we saw tied underneath the so-called Chinese spy balloon. So, yeah, there's a few ideas. Is probably satellites that have dropped down because of a pressure change in the upper atmosphere, and maybe used because, or, maybe separately put up there to kick off the narrative of the Project Bluebeam, right? Invasion, space invaders. Yeah, man. And it's all about fear. It's all it's about. People are waking up and seeing what's going on. So they have to double down on the fear, right? That's their only option. That's all they've got. They don't have a lot of tools in their bag. But the ones they do have, they're good at. Yeah, well, not for us. They're still using Zeppelins. They're still using all that tech. This is the thing. With all this stuff, it's not like they take it away from themselves. They just take it away from us. So we're not allowed to use airships. But I can guarantee you they are. I mean, they're probably using them to get out to Antarctica and stuff. If there's extra land, they're definitely using them to get out there. But again, so these are like modern airships, right? There's tons of them. Look at this one. This is a big, like, triple one. So it's like 3 balloons tied together. Have these massive things. It's got 4 places to sit. It can land on the ground. This one. Look at this super wide one. That's not a blimp because we can tell, right? It's got the capsule. That's a proper airship. Zeppelin. Of course, most of them are used by, the armed forces, right? Because then it can all be top secret. It's a good excuse that we can't look into it. Look at this one. Woohoo! That's this concept, but this is what they're looking at is, mega, literally hotels in the sky. But yeah, there's tons of them that they use. There was a new one that they were just developing. Where is it? Can't see it. But they're definitely working on these. They're definitely using them. And they know all about the tech. They just don't want us to have it. Which is why they kind of need to suppress it and make it all armed forces and out of our reach, right? Because if we could get onto airships, they're going to have a lot harder time policing the Arctic and Antarctic, right? Well, Maduna, we had Maduna, or was it Mickey Rourke from The Wrestler? I'm still not sure. Actually, there was those. Do you remember those twins? What were their names? They were French, and they had like their heads kept growing. I think they're dead now. But they look like Madonna, man. Let me see if I can find a picture. Oh, here they are. These, seriously, man, this is Madonna, right? This is what I thought of when I saw that picture of Madonna. I thought of these dudes. This is how they started, but yes, that their heads kept growing. They had like a genetic disease, apparently. I think, and cat people. The plastic surgery, right? They always look like cats or lions. But these dudes, well, you can see there. That's them when they were young. They were like on TV, and they were like, sex symbol dudes. But then they ended up being quite freaky. This is his head next to Akhenaten. And of course, a lot of people are saying, was it a genetic abnormality? I mean, look at the chin there, man. Ooh, very similar, right? Or is this maybe some trait of, some throwback, right, of some other species, maybe? And is that what's trying to pop out through Madonna? Oh my God, what the hell? It's got to be hard to eat. God, Siamese twins, man, that's shocking. But these dudes, here they are. What do you reckon? Madonna? I mean, they're pretty freaky looking dudes, aren't they? The Bogdanov, what are they called? Bogdanov twins. Bogdanov. Yes. So there you go. That's who I thought of. Yeah, but they're obviously they say it's a genetic thing with them, but they do, kind of have that look like we see with all these people who go overboard on plastic surgery, and obviously, Mr. Obama, who we saw there, from ancient Egypt, right? So they want us to say, could be a trait of that, because and this is the thing with a lot of these, elite types, or the L-ites, which is what they are, right? The L-ites, they're a group of people just like the Canaanites. We don't see a lot of them, and a lot of their kids and that they hide all that, so those people could be ever in cone heads and that we just don't see them, right? Just don't see them.
Remember, in the end, nobody wins unless everybody wins.